This shelter takes care of cats with some of the most incredibly complex medical needs, and it's all done from their own home. I'm Izzy and I visit different animal shelters across the UK, raising awareness for the ones that you don't often see on mainstream media. And today we are at the Independent Cat Rescue in Preswitch in Manchester. Now, they started back in 2019 and it all started with a mother and daughter's love for cats.
So I started fostering with my mum at about 14 years old, and 2 years later we started obviously fostering the quite challenging cats, and we thought, you know, we'll set up a rescue. So at the age of 16, I set up the rescue with my mum. We focus solely on the medically complex cats. We take in the ones that would usually be left behind.
And since then, they've rescued cats from all kinds of different backgrounds.
So when she came in, we noticed that something wasn't quite right. She had very rapid breathing, very dehydrated. She had FIP, which is feline infectious peritonitis. They were trapped at about 7 weeks old. At one point, we didn't think they'd make it.
And today we'll be hearing some of their stories. From my car, as I have got a shift at work before we head to the shelter, so I'm gonna head there now, get this shift done, and then we can head to Preswitch, which is where the shelter is based in Manchester. See you on the other side. Shift complete, coffee in hand. Second coffee of the day, which is very much needed. Let's head to the shelter.
This is Fiona. So she came to us about, I want to say a month ago now, and she came in with the 5 kittens. And obviously when she came in, we noticed that something wasn't quite right, if you know what I mean. She had very rapid breathing, very dehydrated, just not quite herself. And upon further investigation, she had scans and everything, and it indicated that she had some free fluid, and there was just something wrong with the uterus that wasn't, obviously with a POCUS scan you can't really see in depth, but it was a little bit, you know, it was a case of, do we open her up or do we just try her on some antibiotics? So she had some fluids. A couple of weeks later she still wasn't progressing how we hoped, so she was opened up for spay, and it turns out she had what looked to be just a bit of a strange uterus. It was very pale, bit mottled colour, which isn't normal. And she had all that removed, so she's on a course of antibiotics, and so far so good, we're hoping. And her 5 kittens are currently just in the taming process, undergoing vet treatment, and then they can find home soon. And she's just, we'll see what happens with her. I'm kind of hoping the next few weeks. But so far so good, and she's super lovely. This is Carol. So Carol came to us in December last year, and she had FIP, which is feline infectious peritonitis, and funny enough, she wasn't overly poorly with it like they usually are. She was a bit of a intriguing case, and she underwent a course of just over 12 weeks on treatment, which is GS, and currently her last bloods she had weren't how they were hoping they'd be, so she waited another 3 months, and she recently had another blood test, and some values still aren't perfect and some have actually increased. So she's going in for another scan next week to see what's going on and see if it may be another underlying cause as to why those bloods still aren't perfect. But in the meantime, she has actually got a home, and hopefully if all's good and she's considered cured, then she can go eventually. But if not, then obviously she'll stay here for as long as she needs to stay here for. But she's a little character and has an opinion for everything. But we love that. she's so sweet. She's gorgeous. Oh. She likes giving kisses. So this is Watermelina and her sister Bananita and her mum Apollina. And these guys had a very rough start to life. So they came in at 2 days old, well, approximately 2 days old, and there was 3 of them. So Apollina had about, as far as we're aware, 5 kittens. 2 passed away shortly after birth, and these 3 came into us. And their little brother, he had very severe deformities and was failing to thrive. So at the age of about 3 weeks old, he was the size of a 4-day-old kitten. So obviously, because he was failing to thrive, unfortunately, he did have to be put to sleep. And these guys, they were really struggling to breathe. So very, very rapid respiratory rates. And they ended up on oxygen very, very regularly. And at one point, they were given a really guarded prognosis, and we didn't think they'd make it. And fast forward a few months, they are thriving now. So we're really proud to say they're up for adoption now. And apart from this one who's got a little dip in the spine, but that's all just part of the deformities. They're doing super well now, and they've come a long way. So we're very, very proud of these guys. Little Rob, and he came in with his siblings, and they were trapped at about 7 weeks old, and they've been in the taming process ever since, probably coming up a few months now. And he's the only one out of his siblings that have actually tamed and come round. The others are still semi-feral, but he's doing exceptionally well, and he is a little angel.
To summarise then, what would you say your main message is that you want to get out to people when it comes to cat ownership and the thing you want to raise awareness on?
So definitely neutering and spaying your cats, which is absolutely essential because the UK is facing a serious overpopulation crisis with cats, and these cats are being born into lives of suffering and ultimately don't actually end up surviving that long on their own. And the more cats that are being born, the more this is happening. And obviously people abandon their cats and then don't realise they can go on to have several litters per year. Then their litters have litters, and it's just a continuous cycle. And just before we're happy. But yeah, that is the main message we want to get out there, is just to neuter your cats, and obviously it prevents them from getting all these kind of diseases and conditions, like especially FIV, FELV, which is not something they want because it compromises their immune systems. And yeah, that is definitely the main message we want to put out there, and just so they can live their best lives without needing to worry.
If you enjoy hearing rescue stories like these, then do make sure you subscribe, as it helps spread the word about these wonderful shelters, and I'll see you at the next one.